All right, hello everyone. I am back with another video, and today I'm going to talk about something a little different. Lately, I've been talking about my children's Bible story book, but I kind of went down a rabbit hole today. I was just doing a little bit of research, and I came across this website called archive.org, archive.org, and it's an internet archive of all like old, non-published material anymore. And I typed in JW, and I came across this one article called 100 Years of Lies. Then it says Jehovah's Witnesses, Russellites face the truth. And it has quite a few incidences of what Mr. Russell went through, who he was before, and what happened while he was in the beginnings of the Bible students is what they were before, and then also into when they start using Jehovah's Witnesses. And I just found it actually quite interesting, just the first 5 paragraphs. And one of that stuck out to me is one by Ted Dincher. And his book is actually available on Amazon. And it's called Why I Left Jehovah's Witnesses by Ted Dincher. And it's like $5 on Amazon. And he speaks on, in this particular book, he states, it's no wonder that the present day Jehovah's Witnesses say nothing about their founder. And this book was published in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. The less they know about him, the better off the society. And I admit I didn't know, I think I knew the founder's name, but I knew nothing about the history myself, nor did I look it up until I left. And even then I didn't look up very much because I just wanted to distance myself from it. So he states that Russell perjured himself in court in front of his brethren and revealed himself as a fraud, claiming that he knew Greek when he could not even read the alphabet. This is all what Ted said that happened in court. Having previously denied the charge that he had no knowledge of Latin, Hebrew, philosophy, or systematic theology, he later admitted under oath that he had never studied in these fields and that his formal education had ended at the age of 14. The average JW who you meet today is just as dishonest and fraudulent. He claims to be a scholar, which he definitely isn't. Neither is he a student of the scriptures. At best, he is a devout student of the Watchtower publications. And I've actually heard that more before about it's just really being devoted to what the Watchtower publications state that it is not biblically based faith, that it's just the Watchtower says this, so this is what we believe. The books say this, so this is what we believe. And I can honestly say that that's the consensus of those who aren't Jehovah's Witnesses, and I had no idea it was that dire. So I went ahead and looked up one other article. Oh, please don't tell me I lost it. About Charles Taze Russell himself, and he did state himself that I lost it. But I looked up another article, and it was from 1914 Watchtower, September 15th, pages 286. That's where it was found, where he himself is discussing that he's in court, and he's saying that I did not say that specifically, and that he lists all these other documents that he and books that he used as his way to translate the Bible and create the New World Translation book. Let me see if I can track it down again. And the article actually quotes what he says. So this one is Jehovah's Witnesses court cases, Charles Tez Russell. And this is cited question from readers, Watchtower 53, 515, pages 319. This says Police Court, Hamilton, Ontario, March 17, 1913. Charles Tez Russell sued J.J. Ross for defamation of character, basically. So, because Ross had written a booklet, J.J. Ross had written a booklet called Some Facts and Some More Facts about the Self-Styled Pastor, C.T. Russell, in which he wrote, Russell does not know the dead languages. Transcript extract. Attorney, do you know the Greek alphabet? Russell says, oh yes. Attorney, can you tell me the correct letter if you see them? Russell, some of them. I might make a mistake on some of them. Attorney, would you tell me the names of those on the top page of 447 I have got here? So from Westcott and Hort Greek New Testament. So they used a Greek New Testament for him to look at. Russell says, well, I don't know. Attorney, you can't tell what those letters are. Look at them and see if you know. Russell says, my way. Attorney Stoughton interrupts here saying, are you familiar with the Greek language? No. So he's in court, says he is. The attorney brings him the Bible that's in Greek, and he can't read it. But then he says, well, my way, which I'm assuming he's thinking that he's just going to translate it as best he could, how he felt that it was. So that was interesting. This was on, I think it's TAministries.net. TAministries.net. I was making it more complicated than it was. I apologize. But yeah, I found that it was quite interesting that he said that he could, and then when he went to court, found out that he was lying. And then there was also Fred W. Franz, regarded as the best scholar of all Jehovah's Witness leaders. So, court transcript. Have you made yourself familiar with Hebrew? He says yes. So you have a substantial linguistic apparatus at your command. Yes, for use in my biblical work. I think you are able to read the Bible in Hebrew, Greek, Latin, Spanish, Portuguese, German, and French. Yes. You yourself read and speak Hebrew, do you? Franz, I do not speak Hebrew. You do not? No. Can you yourself translate that into Hebrew? Which? The 4th verse of the 2nd chapter of Genesis. You mean here? Yes. No, I wouldn't attempt to do that. The passage he is being asked to translate was a simple exercise, which was an average first of second-year Hebrew student in seminary, which would have no difficulty. Attorney, I think you yourself left Cincinnati University without taking a degree, as Mr. Leslie elicited, but I do not think you told us one other matter. It is the case that you sat for and were offered a Rhodes Scholarship. Yes, I was offered a Cecil Rhodes Scholarship. I took an examination for that in the University of Ohio, the State of University of Columbus. What year was that when you were nominated for a Rhodes Scholarship? That was in 1914. But the view of my decision as a minister of one of Jehovah's Witnesses, I turned that down. I have checked our records and do not find that Frederick Franz was elected to a Rhodes Scholarship. So this all speaks to a video I had done earlier about all the different translations of the Bible that the witnesses, that these men said they needed to create, which they created the New World Translation. So these men themselves could not speak. That's Frank or Russell could speak the languages that they were translating from, nor could they read it to make sure that the translations that they created were correct. And yet they created their own Bible, New World Translation, and it's constantly being changed. as we know, I think I counted 10 different translations, like every 7 to 10 years. Every 7 to 10 years, they put something new or take something out. You can look it up on jw.org on their own site. They have different versions, and they literally state when they put out a new one that changes have been made or scriptures have been taken out. So I had no idea that they've been dealing with this since 1913, since the 1800s, the late 1800s, that is. So the other paragraph that I wanted, because this particular article has quite a few lawsuits and books that were written about Jehovah's Witnesses. I did not know that how witnesses feel, how some people feel about witnesses today. They don't want witnesses knocking on their door. They're not interested in being and the soliciting at all. And they really did think something was wrong with us. So, like how could we believe some of the things that we believed? And now I can agree with them. But I was also confused growing up, like, what do you mean? But I mean, I came in as a child, so I knew no different. So, this particular paragraph was interesting, though. Jehovah's Witnesses, the proverbial religious version of the persistent vacuum cleaner salesman. They're equating witnesses to the vacuum cleaner salesman, because they went door to door back then. They stand forlornly at our main street corners, hoping desperately to attract passerbys in conversation and eventually conversion. They badger and buttonhole us at the front door until, in sheer desperation, whether polite or not, we make our 5-cent contribution. Accepting this tendentious, which I looked that up, and it says that means, it was greedy, that you're being greedy. And then tedious and largely incomprehensible literature. They called the literature incomprehensible. Didn't make sense to them. Usually it reaches file 13 before the ink dries. And I didn't know what file 13 meant. Now I know that usually it was put in the trash before the ink dries. So they didn't even accept it. I remember going on field service with a lady, and she was so happy about this route she had. And this guy would take the magazines from her for a while now, and come to find out he was using them to line his bird cages. So yeah, and this is when they were given free, because before, we used to charge for them, and then now they became free. So she would drive out there to make sure he got his magazines, and he would be oh so thankful and oh so nice. And we found out he was using them to line his bird cages, because he said it fit perfectly in the bird cage. So the name sounded impressive. The organization and the zeal of discipline bears this out. The zealous disciples are, however, victims of their own simplicity and it's at cupidity. Which I looked that up too. Oh, and it was having a belief in something that wasn't true. And come to the door pre-programmed, full of obscure, disjointed scriptural texts, and of course, in the modern falling away from serious studies of holy rite, often gets the better of the listener through what is, in effect, a mind game. This booklet has been brought together from various sources in an attempt to show the so-called witnesses in their true light, as false prophets, deluded by their own falsified testimony, which they have themselves suppressed. That article, that little paragraph right there, that was one paragraph, is harsh. But the opinion of witnesses has not changed. I can agree that they feel the same way. It's 2025 and they feel the same way. It has not changed. The opinion of witnesses have not changed. Therefore, witnesses are deluded. This article also goes on to explain Charles Ted's lifestyle, which this video is 15 minutes long and I need to stop it. I will come back and talk about more of this. And again, the site is archive.org, archive.org. It's the Internet Archive, and you type that in. I typed in, it's for all publications, all materials, all magazines, books, and everything. And there's even videos. I watched an old video of the Jehovah's Witnesses at the Watchtower Society from 1981, I think it was, when they were doing a tour. So I remember that video. I remember that video when it got put out and we watched it as a congregation. So this particular site has from everyone, all religions, all everything, just everything. But I typed in Jehovah's Witness specifically. This particular article popped up and it's quite interesting. So if you want to use this site to look up some of the history that we can't find because it's not at jw.org, but it is other people's publications, articles, and their experience with Jehovah's Witnesses, not just what Jehovah's Witnesses told us happened. So it's their experiences with them. So I do recommend this website, Internet Archives. Thank you for listening. All this is allegedly, so I won't have anybody coming at me saying this stuff isn't true. And again, Ted Dincher's book is on Amazon. Why I Left Jehovah's Witnesses by Ted Dincher. It is on Amazon for like $5. And I better stop. It's over 16 minutes. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.